At 20, you've survived high school, maybe you're in college, maybe you're working, maybe you're doing both, and there's this feeling that the hard part is kind of behind you. Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not. It's just getting started, and the decisions that you make in this decade are gonna echo for the next 30, 40, or 50 years, whether you're paying attention or not. So here's what I go back and say to my 20-year-old self as a 54-year-old man. 1, the world does not owe you any kind of comfort. Let's start here because I think everything else builds on this. The world does not exist to make you comfortable. Never did, and it never will. And the sooner you stop waiting for your family, your community, your boss, your job, or your government to manage your physical and mental well-being, the sooner your actual life begins. Nobody's coming to save you, and that's not cynicism, that is freedom, because it means that you're also not waiting on anybody's permission, okay? Your well-being is your job. Own it completely. Point number 2, have kids earlier than you think that you should. This one's gonna sound kind of insane to your 20-year-old ears. Have kids soon, and do not wait until you think that you're ready. And I say this as somebody who's tried to have kids when we finally thought the timing was right, and learned the hard way that biology doesn't really care about my timeline. Your fertility, your energy, your body's ability to keep up with a toddler, all of that stuff has a clock on it that's already running. If you have a kid at 22, that kid is out of the house by the time you're 40. You're not old at 40. You're just slightly more mature than you are right now. And you're definitely not done. You've got your whole second and third act in front of you. And the cool thing is that you might be a grandparent by the time you're in your early to mid 50s. So would you rather be 55 or 85 when your grandkids are born? And think about that for a second. And now I'm going to say something that's even more controversial. If you have an oopsie pregnancy, you're a dad now. I know that sounds terrifying, but having kids young is not going to ruin your life. It'll just make you grow up a little bit faster. And that's not the worst thing that ever happened to a 20-year-old guy. So don't wait until you're ready. You're never going to feel ready. Just jump in. Number 3, your education decision is a financial decision, so treat it like one. If you're in college right now, ask yourself an honest question. What is this degree actually worth in the market, and does the math actually work? Because if you're taking out loans to get a degree in something that won't generate enough income to pay those loans back, you are not investing in yourself. You're buying an expensive experience and calling it an investment, and those are two completely different things. If college makes sense, it needs to be for something advanced and technical, medicine, engineering, chemistry, something where the credential is the thing, not just the piece of paper. Otherwise, trades, military, entrepreneurship, the GI Bill is one of the most underrated wealth building tools available to a 20-year-old with no money. 4 years of service to your country, then you use that GI Bill and you come out with discipline, a network, and your education paid for. There are absolutely worse paths than that. Don't go to school because you're not ready for the real world yet. The real world is where the learning actually happens. Number 4, start saving now and never touch it. 10% of every paycheck, 15% if you can, put that into an index fund. Start right now today. Every dollar that comes into your life, take a percentage of that and save it, okay? Don't wait until you think you've got a great job to start saving, or look for a job that's got a 401k or whatever. Start now. Whatever you're making, 10, 15% goes in, and you pretend it doesn't exist until you're in your 60s. Compound interest is the one thing in personal finance that actually feels like a cheat code, but only if you start early. A 20-year-old who puts away $200 a month will have more at retirement than a 40-year-old putting away $800 a month. The gap is just time. You have the time right now. Use it. And credit cards, it's not free money, okay? If you carry a balance, you're paying 20+% interest to borrow on your own future earnings. Pay it off monthly. Better yet, don't have one. And I'm going to tell you one thing. If you've got some debt, if you bought a computer using a MasterCard that they gave you at some folding table on the Commons at your university, pay that stuff off before you invest. Investing and paying interest on stuff cancels itself out. Number 5, learn to sell and learn to speak. These are 2 skills that will pay you back more than almost anything else you could learn in your 20s. Selling. And I don't mean being a used car salesman or a door-to-door vacuum cleaner salesman. I mean understanding how to communicate value, how to read what somebody actually needs and how to make a case for something that you believe in. Every single career, every business, every negotiation you will ever have in your entire life involves selling. Dating involves selling. The people who are afraid of it will always be at the mercy of the people who aren't. In public speaking, most people would rather die than speak in front of a group, myself included. That means if you're willing to get comfortable doing it, you immediately separate yourself from the majority. Take a class, join a club, join Toastmasters, say yes when they ask for a volunteer to speak, and do it until your hands stop shaking. Both of these skills feel uncomfortable to learn, and that's why most people don't do them, and that's exactly why you should. Number 6, your friend group is your trajectory in life. Look around at the 4 or 5 people you spend the most time with. Where are they going? What are they doing with their lives? What do they talk about? What do they do? Because like it or not, you're going to become a version of that average. Not because you're weak. That's just how human beings work. We absorb the standards of the people closest to us. This isn't about being a snob. It's about being intentional. If everyone around you is comfortable, going nowhere and fine with whatever, that comfort is contagious. Find people who are building something, people who make you feel behind in a good way. One of the best quotes I ever heard, and I don't remember who said it, was, "If you are the smartest person in the room, you are in the wrong room." Find people that are ahead of you a few steps and they will rub off on you. 7, journal, but not like that. Like this. Before you close the video, I'm not talking about Dear Diary, today I feel sad. I'm not talking about documenting your life story or processing your emotions in cursive. That's not what we're talking about here. Here's what journaling actually is. This is a place to offload everything that's running in the background of your brain, taking up space. Open loops, half-formed plans, fears you haven't said out loud, dreams you haven't admitted to anybody, things that keep you up at 2 a.m. So open up a document, name it journal, write the date and time of an entry, and just start writing out whatever's been sitting on your chest. It can be a list, it can be rambling, it can even be a prayer. Nobody's grading it. Nobody's ever going to read this. This is not for anybody but you. And what happens when you do this consistently is that your brain stops having to hold on to all that crap in your working memory. The anxiety starts to quiet down. The thinking gets a lot clearer, and decisions get a lot easier when you can actually look at the factors on paper. You're going to start to see patterns in what's actually bothering you versus what you're just reacting to in the moment. Your brain is not a storage system. Stop using it like one. Write this stuff down and let it go. And a little cool trick, if you get enough entries in there over the course of a few months, dump that into AI and have it give you insights about yourself. Number 8, your vote matters less than they want you to think, but you gotta vote anyway. Here is a true thing that sounds contradictory. Your individual vote almost certainly won't decide an election. Statistically, it absolutely will not, but you gotta vote anyway. Every time, for everything, and not just the big races. I'm talking locally. The more important lesson here is that anybody who is trying to make you outraged or afraid is working against your interests. Full stop. It doesn't matter what side that they're on, the channel that they're on, or how righteous they sound. Outrage and fear are tools for controlling people, not informing them. So what am I trying to say here? Get educated on what you're actually voting for. Read the thing, look at the background of the person that you're considering voting for, understand the trade-offs, and be deeply suspicious of anybody who tells you there's only one way to see things. Number 9, embarrassment is survivable. Regret can stay with you for the rest of your life. The things that will haunt you at 45 or 55 or 65 are not the times you tried something and looked stupid. They're the times you didn't try because you were afraid of looking stupid. Okay, again, half of trial and error is error. Half of profit and loss is loss. You don't get the good half without accepting the other one. So stop being surprised when you get that second half. It means you're actually in the game. And speaking of the game, play to win. Don't play to keep playing. Don't play to avoid losing. Play to win. The guy who plays not to lose will always lose to the guy who's playing to win. Every single time. You're 20. You still have time to get ahead of almost all this stuff. And if you want to know what I tell my 28-year-old self, then watch this video right here, and I'll see you on the other side.